like here. Is it possible? Here, you want to sit for a second? Hi everyone, how are ya? Welcome to Randy's World, Blue Ridge Live. Here we go. Thanks, Sally. Okay, go like this, like that. Bring some light in a little bit, just so it's not quite in there. Looks good. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Sally. Yep. Awesome. Our lighting is good. Our sound. I think the sound is good. If anyone's watching right now, can you just kind of make a comment to let me know if you're picking up on my sound? I believe it's working. Is the blue light on down below? Yep. And this is, we're good. Okay, we're good then. Okay, so you're not going to believe what just happened. Okay, so Sally and I, we're like, we plan half an hour ahead of time. We're out here in the field right there in the vines. We got this pretty little spot set up with a barrel and a chair. And the camera, we get in the right angle, the right lighting. It's all set up. And just like that, my phone goes, "Your phone is too hot. You must shut it down." I'm like, no. And this happened, 60 seconds ago? So anyway, so we literally ran in here, put my phone on the air conditioning unit to cool my phone down to get it going. So I'm sorry we're a couple minutes late, but right? Good stuff. So hi everyone. I hope this works. It's a studio setup in like 30 seconds. It's a mess over here. You should see this, right? So today's talk is about trust. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about because, trust is one of the most important things in everybody's life. Everyone. It's the most important thing in your personal life, your business life, your life in society, your life in your family. It's the most important thing in life, in my opinion, trust. I talk about trust every single weekend when I do the underground experience, and I feel like it's one of the most impactful segments because it's just so darn important. So without trust, true statement here, you ready? Without trust, there can be no relationships, period. Think about that. It would be impossible to have a relationship with someone that you do not trust. Everything revolves back to trust. It all starts there. Every area of life depends on trust. Your relationships in business, your relationships in society, and your personal relationships. I'm going to try to build an argument here for all three. My personal mission statement in life is to add value to your life. That's my mission. That's why every single Wednesday I go live wherever I'm at. I study all week. I listen to books. I try to put things in my head so hopefully I might be able to say a word or two here that could add value to your life. I got to tell you up front, I take no credit for any of this stuff. It's not me. It's everyone that I'm around. It's my mom. It's Tiffany. It's Sally. It's Tom Dentith. It's John Maxwell. It's Teresa. It's Matt. These are the people that add value to me. And I want to do them good by adding value back to you guys, right? Good stuff, Sally?
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So trust is the glue that holds everything together. So a true statement about trust here. Trust only has meaning when you have something to lose. Think about that. If you have nothing to lose with someone in a relationship, who cares? It doesn't matter what they do because there's nothing that you could possibly lose. Trust only has meaning when you have something to lose. So what do we trust in? We have trust in the rules that govern society. We have trust in our families that we depend on. And we have trust in our significant others who we count on. I believe those are the three main giant segments. There's another one that I won't dive into too deep, but we have trust in God. We do. The most important statement on trust that I can make is this. You'll never be able to give trust to someone unless you have trust to give. In other words, if you don't trust yourself, you can't give it to anyone else. You must trust yourself. And what I mean by that, what I mean by trusting yourself is that you're going to trust your decision making. You're going to trust your abilities. You're going to trust your follow through. You're going to trust your commitment. You're going to be the type of person that says, if it's to be, it's up to me, and you can depend on me and trust that I will do what I say I'm going to do. So how do you build trust within yourself, right? I get this question. How can I build trust? You build trust by following through on everything that you say. You become a person of your words. You follow through on everything. You're a person of action. Your action back up your words. This is going to build your self-esteem. It's going to build your self-worth. It's going to build your confidence. It's going to build your self-image. And in turn, what's going to happen is everyone's going to see you as the type of person that you see yourself as. You see, if we follow through on everything that we say, we are a trustworthy person. We trust ourselves. Therefore, other people can trust us. You can only give away something that you have to give away. So we're going to talk about trust in personal relationships, because this is when trust really counts, right? Trust in personal relationships. This is, I think, one of the biggest matters when it comes to trust. Because, when it comes to work, you can always get different jobs. It's very hard to find a new significant. I always say it's almost impossible. Because, I use this analogy all the time. When two people get married, their lives should become so intertwined and so tangled together that you could not possibly ever separate the two without destroying both of them. The word's called cleaving, where it just becomes one. And if you ever were to rip it apart, part of me would go with Tiff and part of Tiff would go with, right? We would lose each other. Because, as couples, we have that thing called stored memory in each other's heads. If you lose one another, you lose your mind. You lose all the stored memory. So trust in personal relationships matters a lot. If you don't trust a person, how could you love them? It's a good question, isn't it? If I don't trust someone, I don't know if I could love them very much. I can love them as a person. I could say, all right, I love you as a person because in the end, we're all far more alike than we are different. Everyone's searching for similar forms of human happiness, right? So I can love you in that way. But if I don't trust you, I don't know. It's challenging. So trust precedes love. Trust, then love, right? I can make two statements about trust. And these two statements seem to cancel each other out. On one hand, they got to earn it, don't they? They got to earn the trust. They earn it through their actions. They earn it by being who they are. They earn it by following through on what they say. That's how they're going to earn the trust. But on the other hand, trust is the very best gift anyone will ever give to somebody else. I don't know how both are true at the same time, but I think they are. It can't be given, but it's the best gift you could ever give. Both are true. I think it's Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He has a quote. He goes, a foolish consistency of the hobgoblins of little minds. That sentence drove me nuts for years because I always want to be consistent and I wanted everything to line up perfect. But sometimes it's not quite like that. So with trust, remember, it can't be given, but it's the best gift you could ever give. In a personal relationship, it's a sense of security. Like the trust will give you a sense of security that allows both parties to express themselves fully without judgment or fears. True statement, right? So if you have trust, you can just be who you are and you do not need to be fearful that this person is going to judge who you are, right? This is what trust is doing. So now, I'm going to pull Brene Brown into this conversation because that lady, Brene Brown, is one of the most studied researchers I've seen on the planet. This lady, she's a professor out in Texas, and she studies the concept of shame. She is changing the world when it comes to how we view shame. If you haven't read her books, I'd read them. I think she's written about 7 by this point. I just downloaded one last night, right? So she talks about shame in her books. And I would argue that trust and shame are inversely related because without trust, you're going to have shame. In other words, she defines shame as the fear of disconnection. In other words, like what is it about me that if you knew this about me, you might not like me or you might not think so highly of me. So what we do as people, we think, okay, I don't want these people to know this about me, so I put up these walls and I'm shameful. Well, being shameful does not let people see who you really are. And like I said earlier, everyone's exactly the same. Everyone has the same fears, the same worries, the same hopes, the same dreams. We're all very similar. There's that ancient saying in Italy, they go, all men smell the same in death. We are all the same. Everyone's the same. So Brene Brown, she says, shame is the fear of disconnection, right? What is it about me that if you knew it, you might not want to be near me? What that does to us as people is it makes us pretend we're something we're not. And if you pretend something you're not, no one's going to really know who you are. And by doing that, you're basically disconnecting and creating distance from your loved ones. Your loved ones fell in love with all the best attributes that you have. That's what they fell in love with. Don't you deserve to always allow them to see that all the time? By acting in a way where we put up these walls, after a while, if we're acting fake and indifferent, we don't even know who we are. If you act like a different person all the time because of shame, you can lose yourself. And I've seen this. Like, I don't even know myself. Another old saying that's so true: know yourself. You can never improve on something you don't understand. I'm hoping I'm making sense here, guys. I hope so. When we trust the people around us, there's no need to put up walls and be fake. Trust is also very efficient. Sally and I were just talking about this, right? We go, trust is the most efficient thing on the planet. Think about this. In a world where everyone could trust everyone, there would be no need to double check anything. Right? I mean, I hope Blue Ridge is one of the most trusting environments on the planet. I search out for autonomy here, where anybody can do what they want to do, and we trust their decision making. Ask anyone here. We trust everyone. We just trust them. Because trust is efficient. In a business where you don't need to double check all the time, you can save thousands upon thousands of dollars by not having all kinds of safety nets in place. And in my life, I've been burned. I've been hurt. I used to have a medical business, and I got burned by like $50,000 one time. I will still trust, because I will never let that person take their actions and turn me into someone that's untrusting, because that's not me. That's them. If they can't be trusted, that's okay. I've learned my lesson. I won't trust that one person, or at least I'll be careful, but they ain't going to change me. I will trust all the time, because trust is far more efficient than untrust. All right, so trust in business and society. Everyone's got a number, right? Trust in business and society. So your number is your credit score, okay? This is how trust works out in society. And like it or not, the credit score is going to tell someone whether you keep up with your finances and stuff like that, right? And I know, believe me, I was raised by a single mom. My mom went through bankruptcy multiple times. And my mom said, you know what? These other things are more important than these things over here. I'm going to spend time with my children and not pay my bills. My mom made that decision. So I get it, guys. Believe me, I get it. I've watched cars being repossessed. The credit score is not everything. But when in the outside world, how they gauge your trustworthiness to pay your bills is your credit score. Trust exists everywhere. Everywhere you look, trust is somewhere. Being a trustworthy person means that you must walk your talk. And it not only means you got to walk your talk, but you got to know that your walk talks, right? Your actions mean so much. Again, Emerson, he goes, what you're doing is what your actions are so speaking to me so loud, I can't hear a word you're saying. True stuff, right? Your actions will always speak louder than your words. So leaders and trust in society today. Okay, this is my opinion, guys. True, all opinion stuff here. Trust when it comes to society and the leaders of today. Trust is the foundation of all leadership, period. Trust is the absolute foundation. If someone does not trust you, they're not going to follow you. I tell everyone here at the winery, I go, anyone can question my decision making. I hope they do. I tell Sally, please, if you think I'm doing something wrong, just tell me. Say, yeah, right, you're messed up, Randy. Things aren't right. I tell Teresa, I tell Tiff, I tell Matt, just tell me, because I make more mistakes than I do the right things. You know what I mean? If you want a W rate of success, W rate of failure. So the more successful you are, the more failure you are. It's just the truth, it's just the way it works. So you need people around you that are willing to tell you the truth. They'll go, nope, Randy, I think you're off base with this. This is what I think we should do. But that's okay. But if someone were to question my ethics, it's over with that person. It's hard to regain ethics. It's hard to regain trust when they think their motives are wrong. They think you're doing this not for the right reasons. That's tough. And there's been times where perception may be that. And I got to tell you, people's perception is their reality. This is where self-awareness comes in, and being aware of the people around you. If you perceive that someone thinks that your actions are rooted in the wrong motives, you need to go to them immediately and say, I'm so sorry. Let me explain my decision making here and tell you how I came to this conclusion. Because I would never want you to think that my ethics or motives are wrong. I had the right motive. And a lot of times they'll say to you, wow, I didn't see that. It's just the way it works. Always be sure that if you're a leader, you have their trust. If you don't have their trust, go ask for their trust. Trust can be regained. It can. And can I say one more thing? The object of trust does not matter. This is what I mean by this. The object of your trust doesn't matter. So this happens in relationships. So relationships, right? You may have a couple, and the one person in the couple isn't faithful to the other person in the couple, right? So guy or girl, they develop this emotional relationship or a physical relationship with someone else, right? And they're unhappy in the relationship, right? And this is happening, and the relationship is crumbling over here, the one that is out in the public, the one that's known. But then there's the guy or girl that has this relationship with someone else. Do you know the person that they're having the relationship actually does not trust the person that's cheating? Because it doesn't matter that you're cheating with that person. You're still cheating, and they know it. It doesn't matter that it's them. They go, I know this person's capable of it because they did it with me. If you ever see someone in that scenario, tell them that. Because if they ever hope for a good relationship with that person in the future, that needs to be talked about every day for years. Because the object does not matter. Hope that made sense. All right, so leadership in society. Ready? Today's leaders no longer seem to understand the relationship between themselves and the people that are out there. I think that the leaders today, they just don't, they're missing this. The people in the world, they want to be independent and dependent all at the same time. They want to assert themselves and at the same time be told what to do. If you read anything by Vince Lombardi, these are his words. He understood this stuff. People live up to expectations. I've learned this. In business and personal relationships with my kids, whatever I expect of them, they do. And I think the leaders need to expect more of the people out there. They just need to expect more. And I think that they should say, I'm going to set guidelines, and I'm asking you all to follow it. And put the control on them. Put the power in their hands. I've learned that if you give people a good name to live up to, they're going to live up to it. It's just the way it works. So to tie this all together, without trust, there can be no relationships, period. If you ever have trust challenges in any relationship, go to the person immediately and say, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you about the word trust? Because I value our relationship more than my ego. And I'm going to lay myself on the ground, not physically, but I'm going to lay myself out there and stand here and say, I'm asking you to forgive me if I've ever done anything to hurt you. Do I need to apologize to you? What can I do to make it better? Doing stuff like this is going to make you a happier person because 85% of your happiness depends on relationships with people you have. And those relationships depend on trust. Without the trust, there's no relationship. Be quick to admit when you're wrong. It will build trust and make your relationship stronger. Make the commitment today. It'll change your life. It's changed my life. I love you all. Thanks for being here. I'm grateful. You make my life possible. I love doing this. You'll find me every Wednesday, 3 o'clock, doing Randy's World, kind of like this. Thank you all. I'm grateful. Thanks. Thanks, Sally.